Today's guest is everywhere in professional wrestling today. She travels full-time as an independent wrestler and has been on every major wrestling company show. A fellow murderino, emo snob, and no going out grandma. Ladies and gentlemen, my girl, Heather Monroe. Thank you so much for taking the time out to do my podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited. I saw Ray Lynn did it, and I was like, ooh, okay.
Yeah, that's your tag, girl, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
How long have you guys been working together?
We actually just started in September.
Oh, so it's a new faction.
Yeah, but we've known each other for a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were you were a tag partner with Claire James for a while?
Yeah, Laura, yeah.
All right. Yeah, Laura.
Mm-hmm.
The first name's usually important.
Laura Claire James is the full name, though.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm kind of at the end of my brain cell count for the day, so I do apologize.
That's fair.
How is life
feel
treating
you.
you right now?
It's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, I've been traveling a lot, so I'm tired, but I get a little break these next few weeks, so I'm ready to just do nothing.
Are you finding it harder being back on the road after kind of the pandemic shutdown?
It was hard at first for sure, and then I kind of got back into the groove of it, because I was working like 5 days a week.
Really?
Pre-pandemic. And I was working a full-time job.
Oh,
so
wow.
It was like insanely busy right before the pandemic. And then that first weekend where I had like 4 shows in a row, I was like, how did I do this?
Yeah.
And work a real job.
Yeah.
Like,
it's so
it was
insane.
just part of my routine.
And what's your full-time gig?
I don't have one anymore.
Oh,
but
nice.
it was, yeah, I had an office job, so.
Okay. We all have a full-time hustle at some point in the beginning that is soul-destroying, but also facilitates paying for gear and other things.
Totally. And they were really lenient with me. Like,
that's great.
Before the pandemic, I was literally like, hey, I don't even think I can come in April. And they were like, that's fine. Just you have to quarantine for 2 weeks when you're back. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. That's crazy.
That's amazing.
Yeah. I was like, oh my God.
So now wrestling is your full-time gig again.
Yeah, for the most part. I do like some gig work on the side when I need to.
Okay.
But for the most part, yeah, wrestling's been really good.
Wonderful. And where are you living now?
I'm in Orlando.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Are you partaking in the big thing that is in Orlando?
No, I think I'm too old.
Fuck, don't even get me started. Let's tell our listeners what the new rules. So, like, I feel like I could speak freely on this just because I was employed by WWE at one time, and I'm not. There's no shitting on them. They can hire whoever they want. They can have whatever criteria they want. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the new criteria is no wrestling experience to hire professional wrestlers, minimal to no tattoos, which has always kind of been a thing.
Right.
And then under 30? No one under 30, or 30, no one over 30.
25.
25?
They're looking for 25-year-olds. They did just have a tryout with a bunch of wrestlers.
Oh, okay. So
but they are all, like, one of the girls I know is still in high school. So, like, they're really, and the other girl I know, I mean, 19, 21, still in high school. So I think she just turned 18. Like, that's kind of the vibe they're going for, but they did have wrestlers.
Okay. So they've realized that not having wrestlers, they've already floundered on that. Good.
Oh,
good.
wait, we need people that can do TV right now. Wait, let's hire 19-year-olds.
Wait a second. It's not that easy to train people how to wrestle? Fuck.
Especially people that have never watched wrestling a day in their life.
Don't have any concept of body control, but they look the business.
But they can run track.
They take such good photos.
Yeah.
No shade, but you can't not laugh at the flavor of the month because it's forever changing.
Like, literally next year it could be like, we want all indie talent again. Like, that's just how it is. And that's how it's always been. That's what people don't understand. I think just because the internet, we can see everything now out in front of us, they think it's new, but this is literally always how it's been.
It's
always.
A story older than time when it comes to major companies. They say we only want black, and then they hire white. And, you know, you can't take anything in this business personal because usually it has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, it's literally just like timing. Like, like I was saying, pre-pandemic, I was so busy. I was going to have a tryout. I got sent home from a tryout.
What?
Because of coronavirus.
Ugh.
I was at the tryout and they were like, "Hey, this is more serious than we thought, guys." So actually, it was day one of our tryout, and they're like, "Actually, we're gonna get you flights home tonight. So sorry, you guys will all have another tryout." Guess what?
Yeah.
Not everybody had a tryout.
Shocker.
Yeah, and I even said that. I was like, I know this isn't true. Because they're just not looking for it right now.
No, that's so disheartening. I'm sorry you went through that. That really sucks. That's a big buildup. Like, you know, our listeners, they might not know there is so much prep work that goes into a tryout.
Oh my God.
Mentally,
and I was in
physically.
the best shape of my life.
I bet.
Right before that. Like, I was doing blow-up drills twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week, just to get ready for everything. Oh, man. And yeah, I haven't had one since.
But you know what? It is cheesy and cliche. Like, you know what? The universe knows what's best for us. And even though, you know, that feels like a huge blow to your system, I'm sure there's very good reason why it didn't happen then. And I do believe they will circle back when it's right, if it's right.
Yeah, and like if you look at it now, all those people that they hired didn't even get a year to be there.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, maybe it saved me some heartbreak.
There you go. Yeah, a little heartbreak stopped you from massive upheaval in your life.
Yeah, totally. So,
but let's not like graze over the fact that you are doing extremely well. You were everywhere, girl.
Yeah, I was. There was a lot of amazing things happening and coming up, and so, you know,
Good.
I was kind of I was finding my stride.
Yeah. And
for sure.
You will, and you're going to keep on doing what you're doing because it's working. So ain't no coronavirus going to hold you down.
Exactly.
A little bit, but like within reason.
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
I'm actually from Iowa originally. Altoona, Iowa, if you're familiar. Des Moines, if you're not.
Okay, Des Moines I know because of Slipknot. But outside of that.
Yes. Altoona is like 20 minutes outside of Des Moines, so it's pretty close. And it's not like a small town.
Yeah.
It's actually grown a lot, but it's known for its casino, which is called Prairie Meadows, and we have a amusement park called Adventureland.
Cool.
And I grew up there.
Does Adventureland have any horror stories? I feel like small towns have Adventurelands that have like killed people.
Right. I don't know of that. Although speaking of, because Raylyn, there's one in Pittsburgh that I think does have some stuff like that because it's been around forever. But not mine. I'm sure there has been something that happened. I just don't know.
Not on your radar. That's fair.
Yeah.
I'm like a bit of a crime podcast junkie, so.
Same.
Are you?
That's like, oh yeah, that's my jam. I actually am taking a little break right now because I went a little too hard into it.
Fair.
And I, you know, you hear about all these women being killed, and then you're like, maybe I shouldn't be doing this to myself.
My podcast catalog is like all crime podcasts and like positive mindset, like therapy podcasts. So like,
yeah, it's like you have to balance it out. So I listen to Crime Junkie. That's the one I've like really been getting into. And then Last Podcast on the Left is my favorite. And then I actually have my tattoo is from My Favorite Murder. So it says, you know, SSDGM right there.
I was just gonna say SSDGM.
Yeah. So that's my jam.
I think they are the first ones that hooked me. And like I was always like a Law and Order junkie. But then I think they really hooked me into the podcast world.
They really started it. Like, of course, we've all been fans, but like that Last Podcast on the Left and that were like my go-tos. Yeah, I actually met Georgia because her husband Vince, I was on their podcast as well. We watch wrestling. And he would come to the bar wrestling shows.
Cool.
And he was like, me and Laura are big fans of My Favorite Murder, and I met her, and I've never I've never fanned out so hard for anyone in my entire life. She was there and she was so cool, and I was like, oh my God, can I hug you? And like I was so awkward, but she was really, really nice, and like she hung out with us for a little bit, and she was really cool.
I love that. I totally reached out to Vince when I started this podcast, and I was like, do you want to be on my podcast? But really, I want your wife to be on the podcast. But like, I know you like wrestling, but Georgia.
Yeah, I think he's probably used to that by now, to be fair.
I think so, yeah. But, you know, he is, what do they call him? America's husband?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was very, like, he was cool about it. He's like, I know. I'm just like the side piece.
Of course. Yeah.
So there is loads of information about you on the internet and your wrestling and your history. But the whole point of my podcast is I like pulling the curtains back a little bit and getting to know you as the human being. So is there anything that our listeners and maybe your fans wouldn't know about you otherwise that you'd like to share with them?
Oh man.
Or a misconception about you that you want to like clear up, or like, this is the land of like sage your shit. Like this is where you can set the record straight.
Yeah, I don't know. That's so hard to like figure out, because I'm also like, I guess I'm boring. Like I think that's like, as in like in my like normal life.
Yeah, same.
Like I think I have such a like big personality, and like I do such a cool thing for a living that like when I'm not doing that, I'm literally like binge watching a show for the 5th time. And like me and my friends, I was thinking this the other day because I used to go out a lot, but I just don't have it in me anymore. And like, so when I do want to do something, it's me and my friends having like a game night.
Okay.
That's like what my life is. Like we'll do it like, maybe once a month we'll like go out. Yeah. But other than that, we're like, I don't really do anything. You know, I guess in LA I did more. To be fair.
Yeah, fair. LA, I feel like you have to go out if you live in LA, don't you?
Yeah, and there's just, I mean, Orlando is nice and there's a lot to do. Sorry, my cat is about to attack my other cat.
That's okay.
Max.
Cats are welcome on the podcast, but no attacking.
He's mean. Like when I think it's because I travel more now, and they were so used to me being home.
Oh, okay.
And so he like needs my attention, and he's gonna do it by attacking her. Don't. Anyways,
that's fair.
But yeah, so like LA, where was I?
Just go. Well, you know, it's funny you say that. Now that you're talking about the younger hires at the Performance Center, I guess I was only 20 when I got hired, but I'm also a bit of an introvert. But I do think there's something to be said that when you become a wrestler, you kind of sell your soul to be the weekend entertainment. The last thing you want to do is go out.
Yeah, and I also think what it is too is, I guess, when I'm traveling, because I do live in Florida now, but I don't really know a lot of the Florida independents, and I don't have like a lot of connections around here, so I haven't been working in Florida.
Right.
So if I'm going somewhere, I'm flying.
Got it.
And I'm staying for the night. Yeah. So that's like my favorite part about wrestling, is going and seeing the people I don't get to see often, and then just going out and having a drink.
Yeah, I'm with you on
So I guess I do go out then, and so when I'm home, I'm like, no, thank you. I had enough.
And you're exhausted. People don't understand, like, being on the road, even if it's just 2 days, that's like a full-on 2 days.
Well, and the traveling, like, having to fly, the travel is, like, way worse than the day of wrestling.
Yeah, agreed. It's like the flight itself, I think, is pretty hard on your body. Like, have you ever watched a water bottle on a flight? It like totally cripples the water bottle. I'm like, how do my intestines feel right now?
Yeah, and I've been wrestling for 7 years altogether. So it's been a little bit of time, not a lot, but a little bit. And my knees hurt, and my back hurts, and then when you sit on the plane and you're like, or your neck's like this because you're sleeping, and then your knees are crunched up, like, and then you're like walking like with a little bit of a limp.
I mean, it's like so glamorous. We sit like first class.
Right.
It's like a chartered flight.
They send the jet. For me,
exactly.
I drink champagne. But
it's not an extra fee. It's not extra fee.
Yeah.
So what are the goals for this year going into 2022? Do you have any?
I would really like to work for a bigger company.
Cool.
I have done small work and like kind of the extra work for every single company so far.
Yes.
But I really would like to have a place that I can grow.
So you would like a contract somewhere where you can, or would you like to be freelance, do you think?
I mean, a contract obviously is great, but I want more of like just a regular shift there. You know what I mean?
Fair.
Like it doesn't necessarily need to be contract, but like something where I can discover more of my character or like get a chance to work with people that, you know, have been in the business for a while and kind of know a little like what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because I really like working TV. Like I do championship wrestling. That's like kind of a place where I've been able to hone that.
Yeah.
And I would say that's like helped me so much.
Cool.
But I want to be able to like have storylines and like, you know, that kind of stuff and be my character. Because that's like what I like to do.
Right. And where do you draw, like, what are your inspirations for Heather Monroe, the character? Is it people? Is it music? Is it film?
A lot of film, I would say. I kind of realized that, do you know Anna Faris's character in Just Friends?
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of what I realized. Like, I don't think I meant to, and then I, like, watched it again. I was like, oh my gosh, like,
I love
this
that.
is, like, very much how I am. Or, like, you know, Mean Girls, like,
Cool.
just the very, like, backhanded, like, oh my God, you look so pretty today.
Yeah.
Like, you know, where you're, like, the very kind of thing like that. Or when I first started, it was, like, bad feminist is what I would call it. Because it's like, oh, I want to do this for women, but, like, actually just for myself.
Right.
Like
right.
that kind of
yeah.
thing.
Totally Mean Girls, Anna Faris, who's a fucking genius. So that's a great character.
Right. Like, that's one of my favorite movies, first off. And then she's like, yes, no, I know, it's me. It's so exciting. Like, that's very much the character.
I want to draw a character inspiration from the mom. Be yourself, be yourself.
Yes.
I'm sure it would go over
So
really
funny.
well in wrestling.
Oh, Peanut.
I gotta watch that. I forgot that that's like a Christmas movie.
It's on Netflix.
Thank you. That is what I will
Yes.
do for the evening. I'm glad we've had this conversation.
I've already watched it a couple of times.
Did you?
Yeah.
So my new question is, because I feel like we all have had this moment, has wrestling ever made you cry for like good reasons or maybe not so good reasons?
Yeah, definitely. Like, sometimes I'm like, you know, I'm not where I want to be.
Yeah.
And that makes me sad. And then other times it's like, you know, like a moment where I'm like really getting to do what I want to do.
Yeah.
Like, especially I Shimmer was like one of my big goals when I first got into wrestling.
Cool.
Because like when I was in college and kind of got back into wrestling, I was actually watching that mostly because of Diva Dirt.
Yep.
I would find Diva Dirt and I'd be like, what's this indie stuff? And yeah, so like that was a big goal for me. And I got to do it like really early on in my career because someone got hurt and I was there. But like to this year and kind of the pandemic year to finally be booked on it and like get to be myself on it and like actually wanted there. I was very like, that was a moment where I was like,
oh, that's so wonderful.
Yeah.
Fuck, Shimmer's been running for a long time now. That like I had a real moment because I did the first one where I was like, I'm old.
There's so many people that have been inspired by it too. Like if you think about like the work that you guys did to make women's wrestling legitimate, especially in that and with back when it was TNA, like the Knockouts being able to like actually showcase what they were capable of, like the amount of women now in the business that were inspired by that, it's like, it's a completely different industry because of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's pretty fucking cool because, you know, when Shimmer first happened, that was basically Gabe and Dave Prazak's way of extending ROH without giving women more time on ROH. But we were like, okay, like we'll take the ball and we'll run with it. And yeah, like women basically didn't have a place in the indies where wrestling was taken seriously. Like there would be a women's match, but it would be short or it would be gimmicky. Like with Jimmy Rave just passing, I was speaking with Jade, and Jade was part of that faction, and I totally forgot. Although it was a gimmick, they used Jade as a footstool to get into the ring. Like, that's how far women in the wrestling business have come. And like, she took it. She's like, I'll do what I gotta do, but like, good luck doing that in 2021.
Oh, I know. Yeah. And now there's a bunch of all women's promotions, and there's like intergender wrestling is way more prominent, and it's people are like, oh, you only have one women's match on the show, that's embarrassing. Like, or if there's a company that doesn't have any women, they're like, the fans are like, what the heck, like, why is there no women's matches? Like, it's definitely changed the landscape for sure.
And honestly, I'd been out of the business for 10 years, and I meant it when I retired. I was like, I'm done, I'm burnt out, there's nothing else for me. But with all you guys doing what you're doing, you know, sure, we may have like helped get the ball rolling, but you guys took the ball and you've run with it. And I was like, there is some seriously good shit going on in women's wrestling right now, and I want back in.
Yeah. Well, now you have there's so many more options.
Yeah.
And there's so many more people to wrestle. You're not like wrestling the same people over and over again all the time.
Oh my God. When I started, there was always like, especially like being Canadian, because it's harder for us to get over the border.
Yeah.
You know, you'd wrestle the same like 2 or 3 girls for like 2 years straight. And you're like, okay, I don't care. I'm going to Mexico. I'm going to Japan. Just anything that isn't here.
Well, you have to do that too. Like even in Los Angeles, I wrestled Ruby Ray's like probably every match.
Oh, really?
For a really long time. Like, and that's fine, but like you don't really learn much after a certain point.
Yeah.
And so my training school, Santino Bros, was never weird about intergender wrestling. Like,
cool.
They were very much like treat you the same. Like they would be mad at the dudes if they didn't hit me as hard as they were hitting the other dudes. Like that's like the type of training it was. And I was like, hey, can I please wrestle somebody else?
Yeah.
And they were like, oh yeah. Like, and then it was like, I would never wrestle Ruby on those shows anymore. You know what I mean? But I had to get out, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
oh gosh, yeah.
Because I was like, I need to get out and start wrestling new people or I'm not going to learn anything, you know?
And it's I think biggest part of the learning curve. Sorry, I didn't mean to jump over you.
No, that's okay. But yeah, no, that's because if you're wrestling the same people again, someone said this to me, I don't know who it was, but if you're wrestling the same person, all you can do is just have a better match with that person.
Yeah.
Like, but you're not going to necessarily get better yourself.
Agreed, 100%. And like going out there and having bad matches is how you get good, as stupid as that sounds.
Oh yeah. you have to be in front of a crowd.
Yeah.
And that's why in the beginning I was working wherever I could because I just needed to have the matches, and I learned what I didn't like. And, you know, like where I wouldn't want to work again.
Oh, 100%.
But you have to do that, I think.
Yeah, you do. And, you know, whatever. The internet makes it a little bit harder now because those bad matches can be infamous till the end of time. But
yeah,
there's no such thing as bad press, really.
I was actually thinking that, though, because I think like I said, I started 6 years ago, ultimately. Then I kind of had a year where I was on tour with a band, so I wasn't working like fully on the indies.
Okay.
So it wasn't, so like 5 years I've been in front of people.
Right.
And I can't find the match that I would consider my worst match on YouTube.
Cool.
And I'm thankful for that. And I think about these girls that are like a year in that are like doing AEW Dark. Yeah. Or that are like doing these bigger independent shows that are like for everybody to see. And they just don't know themselves yet.
Yeah. It's hard.
And like, and everybody sees their mess ups or like, because there's so many more people putting stuff on YouTube now, which is good, but bad. And I'm like, oh, they don't get a chance to just like mess up. And people are mean.
Oh my God. And unforgiving. People forget that you're a fucking human. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'm with you. Now, what is this band? How did we just glaze over the band?
So, so yeah, so I trained for a year.
Yeah.
And then I had started in September of 2014, and then in September of 2015, this band had reached out to my training school or actually to Lucha Vavoom. I don't know if you've ever heard of
Oh,
Lucha
yeah,
Vavoom.
yeah.
Yeah, so they reached out to them. It's called Pussifer.
Nice.
Maynard James Keenan, the singer of Tool.
Yeah?
Yeah. So it's his kind of pet project, like, it's the band, like, that he loves and makes kind of weird, funky stuff with.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, and so they had tryouts at the school, and I literally only debuted because they booked me for this tour. And they were like, oh, well, we don't want you to have your debut, like, on the road, because they wanted the opening act to be a Lucha Libre match.
Okay.
So it was this whole storyline with Maynard has, like, characters and all this stuff, and his character is locked in a Mexican prison. So the guards... And, yeah, so it was like... I went on tour with my trainers, Joey Chaos, Robbie Phoenix, and then Katrina Waters.
Yeah.
Winter, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Million different names.
Yeah.
And Eli Everfly. And I got to wrestle Kat every night.
Cool.
In front of, like, a couple thousand people, like, 5 days a week.
Wow.
And so, like, I got to hone my craft in front of people that didn't care. And with people that could tell me what I was doing wrong. And, like, we pretty much did, like, a 30-minute show where it was, like, kind of matches in between sketches. And, like, then we would do, like, little mini matches while the singers took a break. Or while the band took a break. Yeah, so it was really, really fun. And we did that for, like, 6 weeks on. I went to Europe. We went to Australia, New Zealand, all over the U.S. a couple of times.
Wow, what an
That's how I met Laura, too.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, because Kat couldn't do the second tour, so Laura took over for her.
Wow. Oh, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
I had no idea. So tell me, okay, because, like, I'm a pretty big Tool fan. I've probably seen them 2 or 3 times in tour. Like, big fan of A Perfect Circle. Is Maynard totally, like, eclectic and weird in real life?
I think he would want me to say yes.
He's normal.
No, I wouldn't call him normal. But it was very funny. So on the first tour, they put me and Kat and Eli on the crew bus. Mm-hmm. So there was, we did tour buses. So Joey and Robbie were on the regular band bus and we were on the crew bus because they were worried that me and Kat would, like, try something or, like, be weird with Maynard. And then once they actually got to know us, they were like, oh, no, okay, yeah. And then the second tour, we were on the band bus.
Fucking so, typical, like, right?
Yeah, I think he's so used to people being insane around him because the fans were very crazy sometimes. Yeah. Like, but for the most part, he was really cool. The whole band was, like, it was just such a good experience. Like, I got to explore the U.S. I got to be, like, wrestle in front of people every night. Like, yeah, and the tour bus situation was really cool. It was just such a good experience.
Oh, it sounds amazing. You know, it's funny that you say that because I think Tool's fan base is probably the closest thing to wrestling fans because it's such a weird niche band to like, and they're just fucking fanatical.
Yeah, and he wanted it to be a secret that we were the opening act, like that it was wrestling.
Oh, okay.
So, like, we were listed as Lucifer. That was our name.
Lucifer. But
he would make people put their phones away and no one could take pictures and no one could post about what it was.
Interesting.
Yeah, because he wanted people to come and experience it and, like, be surprised.
Oh, it sounds like such a cool experience. Is there any inkling of, like, a revival? Is it still touring? Is anything like that, or is it done?
Well, they kind of do different iterations, and because he has so many characters that he does stuff with, so, like, if they do another thing, it'd probably be a different whole structure. But I did just do a music video with them called A Bullet Train to Iowa, I think is the name of it.
Oh.
It's on YouTube, and I did that where it was kind of that same character, and I was my character, and it was like a whole lucha kind of thing, because they did a live stream show.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was the last time I had just worked with them, actually, before I moved out here.
Crazy.
Yeah, so that was fun, and they, like, yeah, it's just good to be around them. Like, we had like such a fun experience. But I don't know if they'd bring back the lucifer. I don't know if I could anymore, because with independent wrestling, like, I can't be gone for 6 weeks.
True, you're busy, girl. You got shit to do.
Yeah, exactly. I gotta make the Heather Monroe name, not the La Sarina name.
But that all had its part in the story of Heather Monroe, so that's cool.
Totally.
All right. Well, I'm not going to keep you forever, but I do want to do my speed round, my 10 tailor-made questions. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Name a beauty product you cannot live without.
Oh, the e.l.f. setting spray.
I love e.l.f. products. So cheap. It's so good.
The best. My face doesn't move when I'm wrestling.
Have you tried the primers, like the Putty Primer or anything like that?
I use... Which one do I use? I think I use NYX.
Okay.
Like gel primer.
It's I don't know if it's similar or not, but I've never used like a gel, and that's a fucking game changer.
Yeah. It smooths everything out.
It does. I look like I have nice skin, and it's a lie.
It's all a facade.
What is your favorite exercise?
Oh, I like to do squats.
Nice. Laura said she likes to watch TV.
She used to be the strong one of the group. But you know what? She is actually, like, her upper body strength is insane. She just won't tell you.
She's built, like, amazing. Like,
yeah.
Homegirl looks the business always.
Yeah.
Fucking bitch.
She would say the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. What is your biggest pet peeve?
Oh, people walking slow.
Especially in airports.
Yes.
What is your celebrity crush? Or who is your celebrity crush, excuse me?
Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
Good one.
Yeah.
Canadian boys forever.
Mm-hmm. He seems funny and sweet, and he's such a babe.
He's done well on, like, the marriages as well. Like,
yes.
He's nailed kind of, like, the biggest babes in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Good choice. What is your favorite band or artist?
Oh, The Used is my favorite band, for sure. Yeah.
Are you like an alt girl, would you say?
I have very eclectic taste in music. Like, my Spotify Wrapped is kind of insane. Like,
mine too.
It's got emo music, because I was in a real emo phase. Like, I started just listening to emo playlists.
Yep.
But then it has, like, Broadway, and then it has, like, Megan Thee Stallion and, like, Ariana Grande. Like, it's very all over the place.
I'm with you on that. It means you're well-rounded. That's all.
Yeah.
Do you have a secret vice, like drinking a glass of wine in the shower?
Oh, I mean, I have done that. I don't know if my drinking's a secret vice. But
it's like a known thing.
It's like a pretty known vice. No. I don't know.
And you don't have to have one. Just if
yeah, I don't think. I mean, I would say drinking is my vice.
Okay, good.
But
it's not a secret.
It's not really a secret. Maybe reality shows.
Oh, nice. Well, drinking.
Yeah, that definitely.
What wrestler has the best entrance music?
Me.
I don't know why more people don't say that. Like,
well, because "Bad Girls" by MIA is an amazing song.
It is an amazing song. MIA is amazing. I'm
Yeah,
terrified
exactly.
of her as well. What is your drink of choice?
Red wine, Pinot Noir.
Oh, yeah. I feel that's like it's basically a health drink.
They literally say a glass a day.
Yeah. You're just healthy.
I'm so healthy.
What has been your most embarrassing moment in the ring?
This one's hard. Because I've been really fortunate to not have like a super embarrassing moment.
Really?
Yeah. I would say I did have an almost nip slip one time.
Nice.
And that would have been really embarrassing for sure. But luckily the ref, because it was like a thing where he could hear in his ear. And I think the production team was like, please tell her that it's about to be on. And so he told me and I was like,
good for you. I'm glad you saved it. I'd much rather you save it.
Yeah. Yes.
Where can our listeners find you on social media?
Heather is me on Instagram and the Twitter. And then Heather is me 5 on TikTok.
Nice. Okay, last one. Finish this lyric. And I'm going to butcher it with bad singing, so you're probably not going to know what it is. Ready?
Perfect.
Well, if you wanted honesty, that's all you had to say.
I don't know what it is. I know the song, but I don't know what the words are.
Okay.
Wait, is that that's all that comes next? I thought there was another line.
There is. Oh no, there is more lines, but I just jumped to what the song was.
Oh, okay.
You did really well. It's my singing. It's
I feel embarrassed because but okay, to be fair, I was like a really big music snob, and I hated My Chemical Romance because they weren't emo enough. They were like posers to me.
So you know what? You said emo, and I instantly went Hot Topic emo. I should have gone.
That's offensive.
I apologize. I feel very rude and embarrassed. So
no,
I
listen to them more now than I did in high school.
Isn't it weird that shit? You're like, that's embarrassing. Like, how can you listen to that now? You're like, it's kind of catchy.
Like, I would behind closed doors listen to Avril Lavigne because I thought she was such a poser, but I loved her music.
I'm with you. I'm like, what a loser. Nice tie.
Yeah, but then I'm like, why'd you gotta go make things so complicated?
I hear you.